Hey everybody, this is Doug with Artfully Rogue, and I don't always do mass production, but when I do, it is something cool. The Phoenix 2021 Film Festival Awards. So to make the base, I'm using a 4" by 4" by 0.83 square piece of tube, and I needed to cut about 32 of these. The client needed 30, but I wanted to make a couple extra just in case I had some mistakes or I found some flaws in one or two of them. Once I got these cut, I went ahead and cut out the top plate, which I use an 1/8" by 4" square plate, and that's what these are here. And I went ahead and put a hole in the very center so that I could weld a nut on the inside of that base so I could take apart the top section and the bottom section, because I wanted them painted two separate colors. So here I'm just tack welding the top plate onto the base, and I'm going to come back later and I'm going to weld the entire thing around and grind it down so it's a nice clean look. Now I'm going to use my CNC machine here, and I'm going to cut out the film reel section. I was having some issues with this, but you know, I got it all worked out in the end, and I recently hired my son to kind of do all the help work in there. For the project, I made a jig to kind of help make it go easy, and what you don't see here is I also cut a piece of 2" square round tubing to go in between the two film reel sections. This made it a lot easier when I'm using a jig because I had so many pieces to put together. I think there was 64 film reel sections. And again, I made another jig to help clean up the edges with my flap wheel. That's the thing with production work, is it's like really handy if you can make a jig to kind of make the work go a lot quicker. And I was kind of having some fun seeing how fast I can get the film reels to spin. You always got to have fun in the shop. So once I had the base made, this little top plate that I'm spinning, there's a nut welded onto that, and I've already welded the bolt onto that little top plate. And so now I'm putting the film reel onto the base. Now I'm lining all of them up the same way. That way I know exactly how each one is going to come out, and then I turn them over and I weld that nut so that it stays in place. That's about 32 times. Okay guys, so this is the part where we're going to stop in this project, and I'm going to point something out that I have kind of noticed. There are two components to this project that needs to be CNC cut. All right, you had the film reel section and there is a Phoenix section. Now, because I was already working on the film reel section here in the shop and I was doing my own CNC work, I figured, okay, yeah, I can just bang those out, no problem. But because this project is on a very tight timeline, I decided to sub out the Phoenix aspect of this, and I went to a company that I've never tried before called CNC Cutting. Now, this is not a paid promotion. They are not paying me to do this. This is just me telling you about a cool company that I found online that I'm sure I'm probably the last one on the wagon to notice. I created the design in a program called Inkscape, and then I converted that SVG file to a DXF file. I was able to upload the DXF file to CNC Cutting, and within a week I had CNC cut pieces back from that company. Now, here's what I want to point out, is with the film reel, now keep in mind, I'm willing to bet most of this was user error, that there's not super consistent. Whether I had the wrong torch height, consumables needed to be replaced more often, maybe it was just the material, maybe, I don't know what it was, but there wasn't a great deal of solid consistency in this shape. Add to the fact that once this is cut out, there's a lot of dross that's left on that has to be ground off and cleaned up. So there was a lot of effort that went into creating these pieces. Now I'm doing 30 awards, plus a few extra just for mistakes. That means I had to make over 60 of these pieces, and so that's taken a lot of time. Yesterday, when I went to the mail, I picked up this incredibly cool package. I've already opened it, as you can see, of CNC cut metal Phoenix pieces. They cut 32 of these, shrink wrapped them, and then sent them to me within a week. I don't have to do anything to these. I don't have to clean them. There's no dross. The lines are cut clean. I mean, this is a great product. Had I known this before I started this project, I would have done the entire thing through Send Cut Send. That being said, moving forward, I will probably only do some prototype stuff on my machine, and I can focus on some of the other work that I need to do, and I send my business to these guys. I'm super proud how these came back. I love the quality. And so, hey, to you, Send Cut Send, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we found you on the internet. And anybody out there, check them out. They're definitely worth their weight in gold. I think these cost roughly $12 a piece to make. If I factor in what it cost me to make, plus my time and effort that went into cleaning them up, this by far is much better. So let's get back to the project, and now let's add this to the film reel. So with the film reels in place, all I need to do now is tack weld the Phoenix in place. And once I had those set, I needed to make the second part of the base. Now I'm breaking out my brand new old machine. It's a small iron worker. I can shear up to 5/16 thick, 6 inches wide, and as you can see, I can also do angle, I can do round, I can do square stock. Now, it all has to be solid. You can't do tubing because you just end up crushing it, but man, this made quick work of the bottom parts of the bases, because as soon as I got these cut, on the opposite side of the machine that's moving up and down at the same time is this punch. I have every hole size that you can imagine, but you can also get the accessories to do square holes, oblong holes. It's just a really cool device that makes things go a lot quicker. And this is really the very first job that this machine took on. I had literally just bought it maybe 3 days before this job happened. So it was kind of serendipitous, and I just love the power that it has. Now I'm going to fast forward real quick to the paint job. Now the painting is kind of boring, but you can see that the bases are actually a darker copper than the lighter copper tops. You can see the holes. Those are actually going to get covered with round felt stickers. That way you don't scratch the bottom of your table. So yeah, there you go. That's the project. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. It is greatly appreciated. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've dropped off on my videos just a little bit. Summertime here in Phoenix is super hot, which means it's even more hot here in the shop. So give me another month or so and we'll get back up to speed on shooting some videos. But in the meantime, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters, Barry and Marlene Rush, John Leddington, Funkiss Artistic Creations, and Judy Clothier. Thank you guys so much for your support, and we'll see you guys all in the next video.